appreciate that. And I want to thank our previous speakers for really speaking to the importance of the work that we all do, that you all do, because many of us, as a school principal myself, I was an assistant principal first, and it really prepared me for, this role as principal. Now, there were so many things that the assistant principalship could not prepare me for, but I was much better prepared for this work because I had served in the role of a follower, because excellent leaders are great followers. And as a current principal now in Wilmington, Delaware, I can't tell you how honored I am to have assistant principals who support me and help me to become, a better leader. I began my teaching career in Philadelphia in 1987, and just really I started working in television and went to visit. My teachers invited me to speak to some students in the high school on career day, and I started talking about my job. And the kids said, "If these are your former teachers and you love them so much, how come you aren't a teacher?" And I really didn't know why I had not pursued teaching as a profession, because I was raised by a single mom. My mother's from Harlem, family from the Bronx, and my mother moved to Philly, and single mom, raised 6 boys by herself. And I was the next to the youngest, the only one to graduate from college. My mother was always there in my corner, and my mother actually worked in the school district of Philadelphia as a paraprofessional. And I saw that as my calling. I walked in my TV job and quit and started teaching, and started working in the inner city of Philadelphia, and realized how awesome these students were, but just how many barriers they had to face on a daily basis, and how the ones who had adults who were there, who believed in them until they believed in themselves, those kids were resilient. Those kids were able to make it. And I decided that I was going to invest in pouring kids, and I started to teach some special education students mathematics on the chessboard. I worked in a middle school in the community where in 10 years we lost almost 20 kids to murder in that community. And I knew that if I could teach these students to critically think, to problem solve as a teacher, that I find a way to develop them so they could become resilient and give back to the community and survive. And these students became, I thought I was just teaching them mathematics on the chessboard, knights move on right angles and bishops move on diagonals, but these students became great students, great leaders, great friends, and all of the students started playing chess and became awesome chess players and won state and national titles, and decided that I wanted to be a leader on a bigger level, and I decided I wanted to become a principal, but said I wanted to become an assistant principal first so I could learn and study under my principal. And in that role, and I became an assistant principal in the same school where I was a teacher. That's a challenge in itself. So I became a teacher once in the school where I was a student, then I became an assistant principal in the school where I've been a teacher. And as you know, there will be doubters, there won't be supporters, but the overwhelming support of the students and staff there really prepared me to become a principal. And when I became a principal at an elementary school 1 block from our middle school, the first thing I knew I had to do was find me a good assistant principal. I needed someone who would be passionate, growth-minded, because see, assistant principals are the decision makers in school. Principals, we get all the credit, and I've been a principal over 20 years, but assistant principals really get in that foxhole with principals and let them know about all the trips, the traps, the pitfalls, the loopholes. They really help to sharpen us so that we can make those good decisions. And the one thing I also love about the APs that I've worked with is that not only are they great decision makers, but they shatter the status quo. And because they're on the ground, the Pope came to Philly, some years ago, and one of the things he says is a good shepherd knows how the sheep feel and how the sheep smell. And APs are always connected to everybody there and let me know where I'm missing the mark. Let me know where I'm connecting, but also where I can build better relationships. They also stay focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion, all important parts of a positive school culture. And so when I, as a principal, I knew that I had to have an assistant principal who would be comfortable disagreeing with me, because you don't become a good leader when you have someone who's constantly telling you yes, 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 even when you need to be told no, no, no. And that really helped me to become the kind of school leader that I needed to become, because that support is there so much. And I went on and developed turned around a school in Philadelphia, and I became a principal who would take over schools who were struggling. And in every school, I had to develop a strong chess program, but also had to have a good AP, because APs have a servant's heart. And I knew that because I had been an AP. And oftentimes you don't get the credit. The principal gets the credit, but you're doing the work. I've worked at some schools where people said, I only saw the principal in the yearbook, but the AP is always there at every program, at every event. And so today I take my hat off to you. I take my hat off to Natasha. I take my hat off to the city of New York. I take my hat off to all of you servant leaders out there who understand that leadership is about service. If you don't serve, you can't lead. And also, for all you folks that are assistant principals, aspiring administrators, or current administrators, you know this firsthand. If service is beneath you, then leadership will always be beyond you. So today is about honoring our assistant principals all week. And one of my friends said, if you need a week to honor them, then you're really not appreciating them. And that's true, because we need to appreciate them all year. Every day, every week, every month, we need to appreciate those assistant principals who are out there, as the brother said, as the cook, as the police officer, as the counselor, as the nutritionist. They do so much and never get credit. And so today, this week, we honor you. We honor what you do. I am the leader I am because of you. And in 34 years in education, I still go to bed with satisfaction and wake up with determination because of the administrators who have worked with me, the assistant principals who have been by my side, who have had my back, who have told me, stop praying for a lighter load and start praying for a stronger back, because this work won't get any easier, but we know it's a calling. We know that we've been blessed to do this work. So thank you, Natasha. Thank you, WeIntervene. Thank you, New York City. Thank you, every city in this nation, for supporting our educators, because we know pre-pandemic, during this tough time, and afterward, we are going to all need to be better leaders for our children and for our teachers. So thank you. Keep up the great work and keep us posted on how you're doing. And let's keep celebrating, not tolerating. Let's keep celebrating our assistant principals. They are amazing.